Assalamualaikum. I'm NURUL FATIHAH binti KAMARUZAMAN.
My name is AMRINA RASYADA binti ARMAHADI.
My name is NURUL SYAMIMI ALIYAH.
Hi, I'm BATRISYIA binti KHAIRULBAHRIN.
My name is Aliya Sofea binti ALIAS.
First and foremost, I will explain what is the definition of risk management. Risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks and implementing strategies to mitigate or minimize their impact on an organization or project by the integrated and economical application of resources to reduce, observe, and control the probability or impact of unfortunate events or to maximize the realization of opportunities. It involves understanding potential threats of uncertainties that could negatively affect the achievement of objectives and taking proactive measures to address them. Moreover, the key steps involved in risk management are as follows. Firstly, risk identification. This involves identifying and documenting potential risks that may arise during a project or within an organization. Risks can come from various sources such as financial uncertainties, and others. Second step is risk assessment. Once risks are identified, they need to be evaluated in terms of their likelihood of occurrence and potential impact. Thirdly, risk analysis. It involves a more detailed analysis of identified risks, including understanding the root causes and potential consequences. Next is risk response. Based on the analysis, organizations develop and implement risk response strategies. There are 4 primary risk response options, which are avoid, transfer, mitigate, or accept the risk. Lastly, risk monitoring and review. Risk management is an ongoing process, and risks need to be continuously monitored and reviewed. Next, I will define the meaning of the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors is a group of individuals elected or appointed to represent the interests of shareholders or stakeholders and oversee the management and strategic direction of an organization. The Board of Directors is responsible for supervising the management of the business and affairs with due regards to maximizing shareholder value and enhancing the corporate governance of the group. The role of the board is to provide strategic guidance for the group. The board shall exercise all the powers that are not otherwise exclusively reserved for the shareholders to manage the business of the group. The board is entitled to seek adequate administrative support from the management and have separate and independent access to the senior management. The board has the authority to conduct or direct any investigation required from time to time in performance of its duties. Upon a reasonable request, the board shall resolve to provide separate independent professional advice to directors to assist them to discharge their responsibilities to the group and effective oversight of the management. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the previous presenter. And next, we are going to talk about roles and responsibility of Board of Directors in the risk management. And I will start first. The first role of board is to oversee the risk management process that has been employed by the organization. It is very important and the most challenging responsibilities of board. In this role, the board ensures that risk has been properly identified, assessed, and managed throughout the organization. It means that board need to ensure that effective risk management process and control are in place, such as establishing the appropriate tone at the top to ensure that risk and risk management remain at the forefront of strategy and operation decisions made within the business. Recent crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic can be one example of why it is important for many organizations to embrace the risk management as a mission, since it can help view the various risks that might impact its strategic success. Moreover, this oversight role also can help board to send important signal to the company senior management and all employees that corporate risk management activities are not robot to conduct a business or a mere compliance activity. Besides that, board also review and approve the risk management policy and procedure as it is one of their responsibilities. Next, the role and responsibility of the board is monitoring and assessing the risk organization. Once the risks are properly identified, then the risk management will then bring the board attention to the most significant risks and allow the board to understand and evaluate how these risks may be corrected, how they affect the organization, and management mitigation or response strategies. It means that the board will review and assess the major risks of organization, including internal and external risks that could impact the achievement. Then, the board need to ensure that the risk assessment process is in place, and they also need to require a regular report from management on identified risks and their potential impact. This will provide a comprehensive overview of the organization risk profile and risk management activities. The board ensure that these reports are accurate, transparent, and timely. They may require additional information or clarification to gain a deeper understanding of specific risk and risk mitigation initiative. After assessing, the board is responsible for monitoring the risk management activity. The board will monitor the ongoing risk management process within the organization. They ensure that management has implemented effective process and control to manage and monitor risk on an ongoing basis. The board may review reports on the risk incident, risk control, self-assessment, and key risk indicators to assess the organization risk posture. They also evaluate the sufficiency of the resource allocated to the risk management activities. That's all for me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
For the next roles and responsibilities of Board of Directors in risk management is finding the balance between taking and managing the risk. Board members, executive directors, managers, and stakeholders acknowledge that taking risk has strategic advantages and that growth requires some level of risk. Managers struggle to achieve a balance between adding value and minimizing risk while managing complex transactions in business. However, it is one of the responsibilities of the Board of Directors to evaluate the risk categories that the company might face, including any risk concentrations and risk interrelationships, as well as the likelihood of occurrence, potential impact of those risks, mitigation measures, and action plans that will be implemented if a certain risk materializes. Board of Directors is also responsible to review with management the assumptions and analysis that underpin the determination of the company's principal risks, as well as whether adequate procedures are in place to ensure that new or materially changed risks are properly and promptly identified, understood, and accounted for in the company's action. Hence, the objective of adding value and managing the risk of the company can be achieved. The next roles and responsibilities of Board of Directors in risk management is development of policies, procedures, and awareness. The board should not take a direct role in managing risk. The board's role should be limited to risk oversight of management and corporate issues that affect risk. Without becoming directly involved in managing risk, boards can fulfill their role in risk oversight by, first, implementing risk procedures and policies that are compatible with the organization's strategy and risk appetite. The board should develop policies and procedures since it is their responsibility in order to achieve a well-developed management in the organization. Second, monitoring the implementation of risk management policies and procedures by management. Next is following up to ensure that risk management policies and procedures are working as planned. The reason it is important for every employee in the organization to have a safe place to work. Thus, having well-developed policies and procedures show that the organization is successful in seeing the direction and objective of the future. And the last one is taking initiative to increase risk awareness and encourage a risk adjustment culture inside the organization. Indeed, good policies and procedures are invaluable to a board as it strives to fulfill its legal duties and risk management policy. That's all for me.
Sets the tone for risk culture within organization is one of the roles and responsibilities of Board of Directors in risk management. The Board of Directors should set the tone for risk culture within the organization by emphasizing the importance of risk management throughout all levels. The Board of Directors should promote a culture of risk awareness, ethical behavior, and accountability. The company's core values and the expectation that employees act with integrity should be reflected in the culture. Although the board of directors has no direct role in day-to-day operations, it has a direct influence on the tone at the top, especially when hiring its employees. As board of directors are highly visible inside a company, it is important that they not only talk the talk but also walk the walk. The board of directors should communicate their values to everyone in the organization and also demonstrate their values through their behavior. Not only that, the board of directors may also provide training and education on risk management to its members and management team. As a result, by having a strong tone at the top, it will help prevent misconduct, unethical practices, as well as support the delivery of long-term success. Lastly, the roles and responsibilities of board of directors in risk management is appointing competent and independent individuals in the management of the organization. The board of directors is responsible for appointing competent and independent individuals to key risk management positions such as the chief risk officer or risk committee members. This is because competent individuals bring a high level of expertise and knowledge in risk management. They possess the necessary skills, qualifications, and experience to assess and understand various types of risks that an organization may face. Their competence enables them to effectively identify, analyze, and evaluate risks, allowing the organization to make informed decisions to mitigate or manage those risks.
Last but not least, let's conclude the roles and responsibility of BOD in risk management. In conclusion, we can conclude that the board of directors plays an important role in the company's risk management. The oversight of risk management process employed by the organization is one of the most important and challenging functions of the corporation's board of directors. The board of committee, charged with the primary oversight responsibility, should focus on the adequacy of the organization's risk management system in fulfilling its objective to exercise the oversight over risk management. Risk management must be tailored to a specific entity, but in general, an effective ERM process will identify the significant risks that the organization faces in a timely manner, implement appropriate risk management strategy that align with the company's risk appetite and a specific risk exposure, and integrate the considerations of risk and risk management into strategic decision-making throughout the company. It is also the board's responsibility to work in relative to a senior management of the company to establish the appropriate tone at the top to ensure that risk and risk management remain at the forefront of strategy and operating decisions made within the business. We may find ourselves today in an environment in which companies face risk exposures that are more complex, more interconnected, and potentially more devastating than ever before. So to ensure that they are faithfully discharging their fiduciary duties, boards must adequately acknowledge and manage risks associated with the decision being made through our organization and operate with the understanding that these risks can and often do lead to any potential crisis. By aggressively performing its oversight role, the board can convey a vital signal to the company's senior management and all employees that corporate risk management initiatives are not a hindrance to a business operations or a mere compliance requirement. When done correctly, ERM can and should become an inherent part of the company's corporate strategy, culture, and value creation process. The board can give guidance and support for the ERM effort, but most ERM programs will fail unless there are one or more risk champions among the executive leadership. As a result, members of the board and the senior management team share responsibility for cultivating a risk-aware culture in the organizations that promote sensible risk-taking within an appetite for risk that corresponds with the organization's goal. So that's all from us. Thank you.